The people who work a cruise ship see things you never will, the dealers, the pit bosses, the hosts, even the crew who turn down your bed at night and hear how the evening went at the tables. Ask any of them off the clock and you get the same quiet answer. The casino is the one room on the ship built to take from you, and it is remarkably good at its job. Everything else on board wants you to have a nice time, so you sail again. The casino wants your nice time to cost you, and here is what they notice that you do not. That room is reading you the whole time. It watches how you play, how fast you walk away, how much you can afford to lose, and a retiree on a fixed income is the read it likes best of all. I have sailed a great many of these ships and watched too many good people get worked in there. So let me hand you what the floor already knows so you walk out with your dignity and most of your money. We will start with the tricks that empty your wallet fastest and work down to the small stuff that just makes the night better. Number one, and the costliest of them all, does not even feel like a trick. You gamble here with your room key card, and that one fact does more damage than anything else in the room. Nothing ever turns into chips in your hand or cash on the table. You tap the card or you hand it to the dealer, and the money just moves as numbers you never see. There is no moment where you count what is left and feel the sting of it. So $200 can drain away before your drink is warm, and it never once registered as spending. On a fixed income, that is the whole difference between a fun evening and a bad surprise on the final bill. So do the one thing the regulars all do. Decide on a set amount you are truly fine losing, treat it as the price of the entertainment, and when it is gone, you are finished for the night. Better still, only load part of it at a time so your own eyes can see what you are burning through. The card is built to make the money invisible. Your only job is to make it visible again. That brings us to number two, the part the house would rather you never sat and thought about. On land, in a place like Las Vegas, a gaming commission checks that the machines actually pay what they claim to pay. Out in international waters, there is no such referee. The cruise line owns the casino, sets the machines, and answers to no gaming board at all while you play. You are the only game in the middle of the ocean, and it knows it. So the odds tilt a little further in the house's favor than they do on land. The clearest example is blackjack. On most ships, the low-limit tables pay 6 to 5 on a blackjack instead of the usual 3 to 2, and that small-sounding change doubles the house edge on the best game in the room. The higher limit tables often pay the fair 3 to 2, but you buy that better payout with bigger bets. When your money has to last the whole trip, every point of edge you hand over is a point you do not get back. None of this is a reason to skip the casino. It just means walking in with your eyes open, knowing the deck is tilted a touch steeper out here than anywhere on land, and playing the games where that tilt hurts you least. Ever put a bill into a slot and watch it hand you back a little win, then another little win, and somehow 40 minutes later it is all gone? That is the design, not bad luck, and it is trick number three. These machines are tuned to strip small payouts, a win the same size as your bet or a touch more, often enough to keep you seated and feeding it. It feels like you are almost there. You are not even close. I watched a fellow at the slots one night feed $100 of onboard credit into a machine in about 10 minutes, and every few spins it teased him with a tiny win that kept his hand right on the button. He walked away honestly wondering what had happened. The machine had simply done precisely what it was built to do, which is keep you seated a little longer than your wallet can afford. And the regulars will tell you the machines feel loosest the first day or two of a sailing, then tighten up once everyone has settled in. I cannot prove that from the inside, and it surely varies by ship, but I have heard it from too many people to leave it out. So it comes down to this. If you are not really a gambler, the slots are the fastest money drain on the entire ship. Watch a few spins, enjoy the lights, and keep your hand off the button. Number four simply saves you a wasted trip. Unlike Vegas, where the lights never go off, a cruise casino cannot legally open until the ship is well out into international waters, usually somewhere around 12 miles from land. So on any day you are docked in port, the entire place sits dark. Machines off, tables covered, the room dead quiet. There are the odd exceptions where a ship sits far enough offshore to stay open, and that varies by itinerary, but the rule of thumb is simple enough. Docked in port means the casino is closed. And even once you are at sea, it does not all switch on at once. The slot machines usually wake up first. The table games, your blackjack and roulette and craps, often do not open until late afternoon or early evening. So if you wandered down after breakfast hoping to play a few hands, you would be standing in an empty room wondering what you had done wrong. You did nothing of the sort. Just check the daily planner or the ship's app for the casino hours the same way you would check a showtime, and you save yourself the walk on stiff knees for nothing. Win at a slot these days, and on a lot of ships, nothing prints out at all. There is no paper ticket. The winnings load straight back onto that same room key card. Some lines still print a voucher, some do both, depending on whether your card was inserted, and it truly varies from ship to ship, so learn how yours does it early. And here is number 5, the part that actually costs people money. The casino closes when the ship comes into port, and it closes for good on the final night before you disembark. If you are carrying a balance on that card and you wait until the last morning, you can find the cashier's window shut and your winnings stranded on board with no way to collect them. I have watched someone realize at breakfast on getting off day that they were up a couple of $100 they could no longer touch. So make it a firm rule. Any night you finish playing with a balance on that card, walk it to the cashier and turn it into real cash before you head to bed. And clear it out completely on the last sea night, never the final morning. It is a quick stop at the window, and it is the difference between winnings you spend and winnings the ship keeps. Number 6 only lands if you get lucky, and it is not quite what you would expect. Say you actually hit something good, a real jackpot, not a $40 tease. Do not expect the machine to simply count it out to you. Once a slot win crosses a certain line, the machine locks up and an attendant has to come and pay you by hand. That can mean sitting there for a good while with the machine frozen and a small crowd forming behind you, which is its own quiet little indignity when all you did was get lucky. And for American players, once that win reaches $2,000, it triggers a tax form, the W-2G, that gets reported to the taxman. That threshold sat at $1,200 for decades and was raised to $2,000 recently, so if you cruised years ago and remember a lower number, that is why. Now, how a ship out in international waters handles all of this can vary, and I am not your accountant, so please do not take tax advice from a cruise video. The practical point is the one to hold on to. A big win is not a grab the cash and run moment. You wait for the attendant, you sign the form, and the last thing a retired couple wants is a surprise piece of tax paperwork chasing them into the new year. It is a very good problem to have, of course. Just do not be surprised when your jackpot arrives with a clipboard instead of a bucket of coins. Number 7 is the rewards trap, and it is subtler than it looks. The perks are the real hook, and there is a quiet piece of sleight of hand hiding inside them. Every time you play with your card inserted, you earn points, and those points buy you things: drinks, onboard credit, cabin upgrades, even free cruises down the road. It sounds like a gift, and that is exactly the point. What almost nobody realizes is that you earn those points far faster on the slots than at the table games, and the slots, as we just covered, are exactly where the odds are worst. The table games like blackjack, where a sharp player actually has a fighting chance, earn points at a crawl. So the reward system is gently steering you toward the games that take your money fastest and calling it a treat. That does not mean ignore the points entirely. If you are going to play anyway, always play with your card in the machine and ask the casino host near the end of the cruise whether you have earned anything, because plenty of people leave perks sitting right on the table. Just know which way the system is nudging you and never let a free drink talk you into the worst bet in the room. After you sail, if you played even a little, the offers start arriving. An email, a card in the mail, a free cruise. Come on back. This is number 8, the big one, and here is where I give you my honest verdict, because somebody ought to. Free usually means the cabin, the inside one, or the ocean view, and nothing else. You still pay the taxes, the port fees, and the gratuities, which can add up to a few $100s a person before you have booked a single other thing. It does not cover your flights, your hotel the night before, or your excursions, and the entire purpose of the offer is to get you back on board where the casino is patiently waiting for you all over again. I sailed with a man once who kept chasing that free cruise, then spent hard to get his money's worth once he was aboard, and he admitted he had drained a real chunk of his savings doing exactly that. Here is the truth the winning stories never mention. You can win a session, you can have a great night and walk off the ship ahead. What you cannot do is beat the house over time, because the math is built the other way, and out here there is no regulator keeping it honest. So if you are going to play, do it for the fun of it, take the perks you earn, and treat a free cruise offer as a discount on a trip you already wanted, never as a reason to keep gambling. Bank a good night and walk away with it. That is the whole game. Those cameras over the casino floor are not only hunting for cheats, that is number 9, and it can work in your favor if you let it. The casino is watching how people play, and it is deciding who is worth taking care of. Play steadily, be pleasant, and tip the staff now and then, and a pit boss or a host may make a note that turns into a comp ed drink, some onboard credit, or a better offer after you sail. Cause a scene or get short with the staff, and you can just as easily drop off that list. There is a genuinely nice person tucked into all this too, the casino host, and most people never once talk to them. Introduce yourself early in the cruise, tell them you plan to play a bit, and ask what is available. It costs you nothing at all. I once walked a nervous first-timer over to a host on the first evening, and by the end of the week she had a compe dinner and an offer for her next sailing, all for playing the same $20 a night she would have played anyway. That is usually how the casual players, not the high rollers in the corner, end up with the free drink or the Wi-Fi or the invite. Steady and friendly gets looked after. Out here, it just happens to come with a paper trail. Number 10 clears up something people expect and rarely get. If you have gambled on land, you may be sitting there waiting for the free drink to come around. On a cruise, that is not how it works. Someone may well come by to take your order while you play, but you are paying full menu price for that drink, the same as if you had walked up to any bar on the ship yourself. The drinks only come free once you are playing enough to earn them as a perk, which loops right back to the points we just talked about. There is one bit of good news in it. If you bought a drink package for your cruise, it works in the casino exactly like it works everywhere else on board. So you can order what you like without a separate charge landing on your account. Just do not let the casino talk you into playing longer to justify a Comted cocktail. A $5 drink is a poor excuse for a $50 hand. If you wander the ship late and wonder where on earth everybody went, they are all in the casino. Timing is number 11, and it matters more than you would think. After the evening show lets out and dinner is finished, the place fills right up, and on a big ship, every machine and every seat at the tables can be taken. The energy is genuinely fun, and that part is not the warning. The catch is only this. If there is a particular machine you like, or you want a seat at a table without hovering behind someone like you are waiting for a parking spot, get down there before 9. And if crowds and noise wear you out, and after a certain age a wall of flashing lights and clanging bells absolutely does wear you out, the quiet play is early. The mornings and the very late hours are calmer, far easier on the senses, and you are not sitting elbow to elbow with a hot street crowd. Number 12 decides, for a lot of us, whether the casino is even worth walking into. Most land casinos went smoke-free years ago. A great many cruise casinos did not. Plenty of them still let you light up right at the machines, and by evening, when the room is packed, the air gets thick and heavy. If your lungs or your eyes are not quite what they used to be, that alone can drive you straight out. And I have known people who never placed a single bet because they simply could not sit in the haze. For anyone carrying a heart or lung condition, and that is a great many of us past a certain age, an evening breathing in that secondhand smoke is not worth a few spins at any odds. So a little homework really pays off here. The newer and bigger ships increasingly split the casino down the middle, smoking on one side, clean air on the other, though the non-smoking room is sometimes tucked away in an inconvenient corner, and a few lines have gone further than that. Celebrity, for one, runs its casinos smoke-free, which is worth knowing if the smoke is a deal breaker for you. Policies do shift by ship and by sailing, so if clean air matters to your health, check your specific ship before you book and ask a crew member which side of the room breathes easier once you are aboard. Your comfort is well worth the question. Maybe you have stood near a craps or blackjack table, curious about it, but not about to sit down and fumble around in front of strangers with real money on the line. That very fear is what number 13 is for. Most ships solve exactly that problem. They run free beginner classes, usually late morning or early afternoon before the tables open for real play, where a dealer walks you through blackjack or craps or roulette step by step. No money at risk, no eye rolling from a table of regulars, just you and a handful of other first-timers learning at an easy pace. I have sat in on a class where they even hand you a small chip at the end to go try it for real. There is nothing undignified about not knowing a game you have never once played. What is undignified is losing your money because you were too proud to ask. So take the class, learn the game on their dime, and walk up to that table later knowing exactly what you are doing. Real confidence at a table does not come from nerve. It comes from knowing the rules cold before you ever sit down. Number 14 is a pleasant surprise if a land casino ever made you clutch your wallet at a $50 minimum. Cruise ships tend to go a lot easier, and on many of them you can find blackjack, roulette, even craps with minimums as low as $5. That is a real gift for a casual player. It means you can sit down, actually play, and stretch a small budget across a relaxed evening instead of blowing it all in 10 minutes flat. There are two things to watch, though. On the fancier or newer ships and at the busy evening hours, those minimums creep up to $10 or $15, so check the sign before you sit. And remember what we said about blackjack. The cheapest tables are usually the 6 to 5 ones with the worst payout, so the low minimum is not always the bargain it appears to be. A $5 table you understand cold beats a fancy one you do not. Pick the game you actually know, at a minimum you are comfortable losing, and let the night breathe. The television in your cabin is usually a sad little thing, a couple of news channels, and an endless loop trying to sell you shore excursions. The game you actually want is rarely on it. So here is number 15, a small gift for the sports fans. The bar in the middle of the casino often gets channels nothing else on the ship does, including live sports. The football and the big matches your cabin will never once show, and you do not have to gamble a single cent to watch. Pull up a seat at that bar, order your drink, use your package if you have got one, and catch the game right there. It is one of the very few spots on board where you can properly follow your team in the middle of the ocean. Half the ship has no idea it is an option, and now you do. When your set budget runs dry, many ships let you draw cash right there against your onboard account. No trip to an ATM required. That convenience is number 16, and it is anything but cheap. The cash advance usually carries a fee, often somewhere around 5%, and it varies by line and by how you pull it. On a couple of $100s, that is real money handed over just for the privilege of gambling more, on top of whatever you then lose at the machine. Some lines waive the fee once you climb their loyalty tiers, but for most of us that fee is simply there quietly taking its cut. So treat that cash window the way you would a pricey airport ATM. If your budget for the night is gone, the fee is the ship telling you the night is over. The smart move is to let it be over, not to pay a surcharge for the chance to lose more. Number 17 might be the smartest seat in the room for a cautious player. If you like the idea of the casino but hate watching a 20 vanish in a blink, the tournaments are well worth a look. A lot of ships run slot and blackjack tournaments where you pay one set entry fee, often somewhere in the $20 to $50 range, and then compete against the other guests for the top score. The appeal is a simple one. You know exactly what the night is going to cost you going in, instead of feeding a machine until your money is simply gone. They are low pressure, open to beginners, and often include a practice round so you are never lost, and the prizes can be very real. Carnival has run tournaments with prizes reaching into the hundreds of thousands of dollars, though those are the headline events, not your average Tuesday at sea. Even the ordinary ones give you a fixed price social evening with a bit of a thrill and a hard cap on the damage. For someone who wants the fun of the room without the bottomless hole a slot machine can become, that fixed entry fee is the safest seat in the casino. So if you see a tournament listed in the Daily Planner, it might just be the smartest money in the casino. Let me end on a small and harmless one, because not everything in this room is a trap. That last thing, number 18, is the souvenir most people never think to ask for. After a certain amount of play, the casino retires its cards and dice, and instead of tossing them, many ships will hand them over or sell them for $1 or $2. These are not generic decks either. They usually carry the cruise line's logo, sometimes the ship's own name printed right on them. So you walk away with an actual piece of your sailing for pocket change, a far better keepsake than yet another fridge magnet. Just stop by the casino cashier and ask if they have any retired cards or dice going spare. Sometimes the answer is no, but often enough they will slide a set across the counter with a smile, collect one from every ship you sail, and you end up with a little box at home that tells the story of every voyage you took. That is a souvenir worth having, and it might be the only thing in the entire casino guaranteed not to cost you more than a couple of dollars. That is the room, top to bottom, the way the people who work it see it every single night. And after a lot of years and a lot of sailings, it all comes back to one thing for me. The casino can be a real pleasure, a fun hour, a couple of drinks, the lights and the noise and the small thrill of a win. There is nothing wrong with any of that. But it is the one room on board designed to send you home lighter, and it works hardest on the very people who can least afford it. I have watched those flashing lights pull a woman away from her husband night after night, him standing there in the doorway asking where she had gone. I have met people who could not sit at the machines at all because they once watched a parent lose everything to them and the sound alone still turns their stomach. Those are not scare stories. They are the reason you set your limit before you walk in, not after. Bring only what you can comfortably afford to lose. Treat it as the honest price of a night out. And when a good win does land, be the rare person who stands up and walks away with it. Your peace of mind is worth a great deal more than one more spin. So tell me this one in the comments. What is the most you have ever won or lost in a ship's casino? And did you have the sense to walk away when you were ahead? The travelers about to book their first cruise in years will read every reply, and they learn as much from your night at the tables as from anything I can tell them.